Welcome to our video, a heartfelt space to honor and remember those we've recently lost, along with others who have left lasting impacts on our lives. Today, we'll reflect on their incredible journeys, celebrate their legacies, and hold their cherished memories close. Additionally, we'll discuss the recent challenges faced by WWE star Randy Orton, which have deeply resonated with fans worldwide. Join us in celebrating their stories and ensuring their legacies endure. Subscribe and be part of our inspiring and supportive community. Paul "Butcher" Vashon, born on October 7, 1937 in Montreal, Quebec, was a towering figure in professional wrestling whose legacy is etched deeply into the history of the sport. Born into the illustrious Vashon wrestling family, Paul's journey from a young, aspiring athlete to a fierce and respected ring veteran is a testament to his relentless work ethic and passion for wrestling. He became a household name, celebrated for his raw toughness, larger-than-life personality, and a wrestling style that was both brutal and captivating. Starting his career in the 1950s, Paul embraced his fearsome persona as the Butcher, a character that struck terror into his opponents. He often joined forces with his brother, Maurice "Mad Dog" Vachon, forming one of the most feared tag teams in wrestling history. Together, the Vachon brothers carved a path of destruction through the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, where they claimed multiple tag team championships. Their fierce, hard-hitting approach became the hallmark of their careers, drawing passionate fans who relished their no-nonsense style. Paul also found success as a singles competitor, taking on top wrestling stars of his era. His imposing presence in the ring, combined with his ruthless tactics, cemented his reputation as a fan favorite for those who loved intense, all-out wrestling action. Away from the ring, Paul Vachon continued to contribute to the industry, participating in numerous speaking engagements, sharing his insights and recounting stories from wrestling's golden age in his memoirs. These recollections have been treasured by fans, offering a rare glimpse into the vibrant history of the sport. Paul Vachon passed away at the age of 86 due to complications related to heart failure. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy as both a member of the Vachon wrestling dynasty and a formidable competitor lives on, forever intertwined with the fabric of professional wrestling. Ray Traylor, better known by his ring name Big Boss Man, was born on May 2, 1963, in Atlanta, Georgia. He became one of the most iconic figures in professional wrestling, known for his imposing presence, athleticism, and memorable persona. Traylor's career spanned over 2 decades, with significant tenures in major promotions like the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE, and World Championship Wrestling, WCW. Traylor began his wrestling career in the early 1980s and rose to fame in the WWF under the character of Big Boss Man, a tough, no-nonsense prison guard. His gimmick, complete with a nightstick and prison uniform, made him a standout figure. He was known not only for his size and agility, but also for his charisma and ability to engage with fans. Throughout his WWF career, Big Boss Man became involved in several high-profile storylines, including notable rivalries with top stars like Hulk Hogan. He also achieved considerable success in the ring, winning the Hardcore Championship and the Tag Team Championships, among other accolades. After his WWF career, Traylor continued to shine in WCW, where he adapted to new wrestling styles and maintained his strong persona. His ability to evolve with the changing wrestling landscape earned him respect from fans and fellow wrestlers alike. Tragically, Ray Traylor, at the age of 41. The cause of death was reported as a heart attack, which was likely related to his long history of health issues. Throughout his life, Traylor struggled with weight management and other health complications, and his premature death was a loss to the wrestling community. Despite his untimely passing, Big Boss Man's contributions to the industry remain fondly remembered, and his legacy lives on among fans. Dr. Carante was a highly dedicated and compassionate medical professional whose life was defined by his deep commitment to healthcare and the well-being of his patients. Renowned for his expertise and skill, he garnered immense respect from both his colleagues and the countless individuals he treated throughout his career. Dr. Carante's approach to medicine went beyond simply diagnosing and treating ailments. He was driven by a desire to heal not just the body but the spirit, instilling hope and confidence in all those under his care. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Karanti worked relentlessly to provide the highest standard of care, often exceeding expectations and going beyond his professional duties to offer emotional and moral support to those in need. He was known for his ability to combine scientific knowledge with genuine empathy, fostering trust and comfort in his patients. In addition to his work as a physician, Dr. Karanti was a passionate advocate for public health. He regularly participated in community outreach programs designed to educate the public on the importance of preventive care and healthy living practices, embodying his belief that healthcare was not just about treatment, but prevention. However, despite his dedication to others, Dr. Karanti's life was tragically cut short. He passed away at the age of 56 due to complications from a long battle with a rare and aggressive form of cancer. His untimely death was a devastating loss to both the medical community and his many patients, who fondly remember him not just as a doctor, but as a true healer. Dr. Karanti's legacy of kindness, selflessness, and unwavering commitment to the welfare of others continues to live on in the many lives he touched, inspiring those who carry on his work to this day. Randy Savage, born Randall Mario Poffo on November 15, 1952, was one of the most iconic and influential figures in professional wrestling. Known for his charismatic persona, colorful ring gear, and distinct voice, Savage became a household name in the 1980s and 1990s, especially during his time with the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE, and later with World Championship Wrestling, WCW. His larger-than-life character and undeniable talent made him a fan favorite and a central figure in the wrestling world for over 3 decades. Savage's wrestling style was a unique blend of technical skills and high-flying maneuvers, earning him a reputation as one of the best in-ring performers of his era. He was a 2-time WWF champion and a 4-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, showcasing his ability to dominate in the ring while maintaining a deep connection with fans. His intense rivalries with wrestling legends like Hulk Hogan, Ricky Steamboat, and Jake the Snake Roberts produced some of the most memorable matches in wrestling history. Outside of the ring, Savage was famous for his energetic promos and his signature catchphrase, "Ooh yeah." His charisma extended beyond wrestling, as he appeared in films and television shows, including his role in the movie Spider-Man, 2002. Tragically, Randy Savage at the age of 58. The cause of death was a heart attack, which occurred while he was driving his vehicle in Florida. Savage lost control of the car, which crashed into a tree. It was later revealed that his heart attack was likely caused by arteriosclerosis, a condition in which the arteries become clogged. Savage's death was a great loss to the wrestling world, but his legacy as one of the greatest entertainers in the industry continues to inspire fans and wrestlers alike. Winona Hart, born on September 5, 1955, was a groundbreaking Native American professional wrestler whose career in the 1970s and 1980s left a lasting impact on the wrestling world. A proud member of the Choctaw Nation, Hart used her platform to increase visibility for Indigenous women in sports and entertainment at a time when women's wrestling was still in its early stages of becoming a mainstream attraction. Hart's training and in-ring work blended athleticism with captivating charisma, allowing her to develop a distinctive persona that gained her respect in the male-dominated world of professional wrestling. Known for her signature moves and fierce, resilient fighting style, she showcased her talent in various wrestling promotions, often facing the additional challenge of being a woman of color in an industry that was largely unwelcoming to women, particularly those from marginalized communities. Despite these challenges, Hart carved a path for future generations of female wrestlers, and her work contributed to the growing acceptance and popularity of women's wrestling. In addition to her wrestling career, Hart was an advocate for Indigenous rights and representation. She used her fame to raise awareness about social issues affecting Indigenous communities and often highlighted the importance of equality within both the sport and society at large. Tragically, Winona Hart at the age of 64. The cause of death was reported as complications from a long-term illness, although specific details regarding the illness have not been publicly disclosed. Her death marked the loss of a trailblazer who not only broke barriers in professional wrestling, but also dedicated her life to fighting for greater representation and social justice. Little Hart's legacy continues to inspire and influence those who follow in her footsteps, both in and out of the wrestling ring. Mike Bell, born on June 13, 1966, in Los Angeles, California, was a professional wrestler known for his time in both the independent wrestling circuits and larger promotions such as WWE and WCW. Bell's wrestling career began in the 1980s, and he initially worked under various gimmicks in the California independent scene. His talents, particularly his agility and solid in-ring abilities, earned him opportunities to perform on bigger stages, although he never achieved the level of fame or success that many anticipated early in his career. In WWE, Mike Bell was used primarily as an enhancement talent, meaning he would often be brought in to make other wrestlers look strong in their matches. Despite this, Bell's dedication and professionalism were evident, and he earned the respect of his peers for his ability to take on roles that helped push other wrestlers into the spotlight. In WCW, he similarly worked in an enhancement capacity, although his appearances were sporadic. Component placement. Mike Bell tragically passed away at the age of 41 from a heart attack caused by a drug overdose. His death was a reminder of the devastating impact of substance abuse, which has claimed the lives of many wrestlers throughout the years. Bell's passing was particularly poignant as it underscored the challenges wrestlers face, not only in the ring, but also in managing their health and well-being outside of it. Mike Bell's legacy resonates as a cautionary tale of the dangers of drug abuse in professional wrestling and other high-pressure industries. His death highlighted the need for better healthcare and support for wrestlers, both during and after their careers. Though Bell may not have achieved the fame of some of his peers, his story continues to serve as a reminder of the darker side of the business, where personal struggles often go unnoticed. His passing had a profound impact on his family and the wrestling community, and his legacy lives on in the conversations about mental health and addiction in the sport. Andrew Test Martin, born on March 17, 1976, in Whitby, Ontario, Canada, was a charismatic professional wrestler, best known for his towering 6'6" frame and his impressive athleticism. He made his debut in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, in 1998, quickly gaining popularity due to his powerful in-ring style and engaging personality. As a part of the company, which later became World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, Test became a fan favorite, known for his solid performances and his involvement in high-profile storylines. Throughout his career, Martin captured several prestigious championships, including the Intercontinental Championship and the World Tag Team Championship. He often teamed up with other prominent stars like Shane McMahon and Albert, creating memorable moments for fans. Test's character evolved over the years, and he was involved in notable feuds with wrestlers such as Triple H and The Big Show. Despite his success, Test faced several personal challenges, particularly with his health. He struggled with injuries throughout his career, which eventually led to his departure from WWE. After leaving the company, Test continued to wrestle in independent promotions and made occasional appearances in various wrestling organizations. Tragically, Andrew Test Martin, just days shy of his 33rd birthday. The official cause of death was an accidental overdose of oxycodone, a painkiller that he had reportedly been using to manage injuries sustained during his wrestling career. His passing was a heartbreaking loss to the wrestling world, as he was remembered not only for his athletic prowess, but also for his contributions to the industry and his larger-than-life persona. Martin's legacy lives on in the memories of fans and colleagues who continue to honor his impact on professional wrestling. Brian William Pilman, born on April 28, 1962, in Cincinnati, Ohio, was a highly influential professional wrestler whose innovative style and larger-than-life persona left a lasting imprint on the wrestling world. Known for his high-flying moves and unpredictable antics, Pilman revolutionized the industry with his loose cannon character, which blurred the lines between reality and fiction, bringing a new level of intensity to wrestling. Pilman's career began in the mid-1980s, where he competed in various regional promotions before gaining national recognition in the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and later in World Championship Wrestling, WCW. It was in WCW that Pilman achieved notable success as part of the tag team, the Hollywood Blondes, with a young Steve Austin. His dynamic in-ring style and unpredictable persona garnered significant attention. Pilman's time in the WWF, now WWE, further solidified his place in wrestling history, as his feuds and matches displayed his versatility and creativity, particularly with his controversial loose cannon character, which had fans questioning what was real. Unfortunately, Pilman's career was he passed away at the age of 35. The official cause of death was later revealed to be a heart attack, which was exacerbated by multiple factors. Pilman had struggled with drug abuse, particularly painkillers, which he had been using to cope with a variety of injuries sustained during his intense wrestling career. Additionally, his past history of health issues, including a botched knee surgery and a history of substance use, contributed to his untimely death. Despite his short career, Brian Pillman's impact on wrestling remains undeniable, and his legacy continues to influence wrestlers today. Randy Orton is undeniably one of the most celebrated and accomplished professional wrestlers in WWE history. His career has spanned over 2 decades, making him a central figure in the company's evolution and success. With a legacy marked by numerous championships, unforgettable feuds, and a persona as the Viper, Orton has carved out a place as one of the greatest to ever step into the squared circle. However, like many athletes in physically demanding sports, his journey has been marred by injuries that have forced him to step away from the ring more than once. Orton's intense in-ring style, compounded by the relentless nature of the professional wrestling schedule, has taken a significant toll on his body over the years. In this article, we will explore the major injuries that have impacted Randy Orton's career, his road to recovery, and the persistent rumors that continue to surround his health. The toll of a physical career. Randy Orton's wrestling style has always been a blend of technical skill, raw athleticism, and brutal force. This combination has allowed him to deliver memorable matches, but it has also contributed to a series of serious injuries throughout his career. As a third-generation wrestler, Orton inherited not only the technical prowess that runs through his family's bloodline, but also the physical toll that a career in professional wrestling often exacts on the body. Since making his WWE debut in 2002, Orton has experienced a range of injuries, some of which have forced him into lengthy periods of recovery. Despite this, Orton's resilience has enabled him to continue fighting back, making comebacks that have become a testament to his unwavering determination. Shoulder injuries. The early challenges. Randy Orton's first significant injury came early in his career, highlighting how quickly the physical nature of wrestling can take its toll. In 2002, only a few years after his debut, Orton began dealing with shoulder issues. He suffered a serious shoulder injury that sidelined him for several months. As many professional wrestlers can attest, shoulder injuries are common in the sport due to the amount of strain placed on the shoulders during high-impact moves and falls. Orton's recurring shoulder dislocations would become a significant pattern throughout his career. One of the most notable instances occurred in 2010 during a match against Edge at the Over the Limit pay-per-view event. Orton dislocated his shoulder during the match, and it was clear that this injury could have long-term consequences. Experts noted that Orton's hypermobile shoulders, meaning his shoulder joints are more flexible than normal, made him more susceptible to these types of injuries. To address this, Orton underwent a procedure to stabilize the shoulder, which temporarily alleviated the issue. However, despite this surgery, shoulder dislocations continued to be a recurring concern for the wrestler. In 2015, Orton faced another setback when he had to undergo yet another shoulder surgery, which kept him out of action for several months. This time, his injuries were more severe, and doctors suggested that Orton consider stepping away from professional wrestling altogether. However, Orton refused to give up on his career. Instead, he threw himself into rehabilitation, working tirelessly to recover and return to the ring. His dedication and resilience led to a successful comeback, though it was clear that his body had taken a beating over the years. The back, a devastating setback. As challenging as the shoulder injuries were, they would not be the only physical setbacks Orton would endure. Perhaps the most concerning injury in Orton's career occurred in 2022, when he sustained a serious back injury. This injury, which ultimately involved Orton's spine, was particularly alarming because of the potential long-term effects it could have on his ability to continue wrestling. Reports indicated that Orton had been dealing with a spinal issue, later diagnosed as cervical cord neuropraxia. This condition affects the spinal cord, leading to numbness, weakness, and severe pain. In wrestling, spinal injuries are among the most concerning, as they can permanently limit a wrestler's ability to move, or, in the worst case, lead to paralysis. Orton's condition raised questions about whether he would ever wrestle again, with many worried that his career might be cut short. In late 2022, Orton underwent spinal fusion surgery, a procedure in which two or more vertebrae are fused together to provide stability. This surgery is typically reserved for severe cases, as it carries significant risks, and many athletes in physically demanding sports often face the harsh reality that their careers may be over following such procedures. For Orton, the idea that his wrestling days might be behind him became a difficult but undeniable possibility. The recovery process from spinal fusion surgery is arduous and time-consuming. Orton's rehabilitation involved extensive physical therapy to regain mobility, strength, and flexibility. Though the procedure was successful in addressing the spinal injury, Orton's future in wrestling remained uncertain. WWE's medical team, alongside independent specialists, closely monitored his progress, but it was clear that the road to recovery would be long and challenging. Rumors and speculation. What's the truth? As with any high-profile injury, rumors quickly began to swirl about Orton's health. Wrestling fans, always eager for news, began speculating about the severity of Orton's condition, with some suggesting that he might never return to the ring. These rumors were fueled by reports that WWE officials had advised Orton to retire due to the severity of his injuries. While it's true that Orton's back injury was severe and required extensive surgery, the idea that he would never wrestle again remained speculative. In 2023, further rumors emerged, with some suggesting that Orton was secretly dealing with nerve damage that could lead to paralysis if he continued wrestling. While it is true that cervical cord neuropraxia involves nerve complications, no credible medical sources have confirmed that Orton is at risk of permanent paralysis. WWE has a strict medical clearance process, and no wrestler is allowed to return to the ring without being thoroughly evaluated by medical professionals. Therefore, while the possibility of a return remains uncertain, it is unlikely that Orton would be cleared for action if there were any significant risk to his long-term health. Despite the ongoing speculation, Orton's close associates, including his father, WWE Hall of Famer Bob Orton Jr., have provided updates on his condition. They have emphasized that while the injury was serious, Orton has remained determined to make a comeback. His father has been vocal about Orton's optimism, noting that the younger Orton has not ruled out a return to the squared circle. The road to recovery, progress, and possibilities. As of the latest updates, Randy Orton's recovery appears to be progressing steadily. He has been seen training and working on maintaining his physical conditioning, which has fueled further speculation about a potential return to WWE. While the prospect of seeing Orton back in action remains a hope for fans, WWE is being cautious when it comes to evaluating his readiness to compete once again. Spinal injuries are some of the most delicate and dangerous injuries in professional wrestling. However, there is precedent for wrestlers who have endured similar injuries and returned to action after successful rehabilitation. Edge, for example, was forced to retire due to neck problems before making a triumphant return to the ring years later. Daniel Bryan, too, faced career-threatening spinal issues, but returned to active competition after an extensive recovery period. These successful comebacks provide hope that Orton could one day follow a similar path, though it is important to note that every recovery process is unique. If Orton does eventually make a return, it is likely that WWE will take extra precautions to protect him from further injury. This could mean limiting his schedule, reducing the number of high-impact matches he participates in, and adjusting his wrestling style to minimize strain on his back. Given Orton's experience and in-ring intelligence, it is entirely possible that he could adapt his style to remain an effective performer while reducing the risk of further injury. The legacy of the Viper. Regardless of what the future holds for Randy Orton, his legacy in professional wrestling is undeniable. Orton has been a cornerstone of WWE for over 2 decades, contributing to some of the company's most iconic moments and matches. From his legendary feuds with names like The Undertaker, John Cena, and Triple H, to his role as a multi-time world champion, Orton's career has been filled with both triumphs and challenges. Injuries may have slowed Orton down at various points in his career, but they have never defined him. His ability to recover and continue competing, even in the face of such daunting obstacles, speaks to his determination, work ethic, and passion for the business. Whether or not Orton returns to the ring, his legacy as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time is secure. His contributions to the industry will continue to be celebrated by fans for years to come, and his resilience in the face of adversity has inspired countless others. Conclusion: Randy Orton's career has been one of highs and lows, marked by both incredible success and the toll of repeated injuries. From his chronic shoulder problems to the devastating back injury that nearly ended his career, Orton has faced challenges that few others in the industry have had to endure. Yet despite the setbacks, his legacy as one of WWE's most accomplished and celebrated superstars remains intact. His perseverance in the face of adversity, his dedication to recovery, and his unrelenting passion for wrestling have solidified his place as a legend in the sport. Whether or not he returns to the ring, Randy Orton will always be remembered as the Viper, a symbol of resilience, strength, and undying spirit.